right, everybody, let's take some deep, calming breaths and center ourselves and prepare for a good pre-market moment. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters,
This is a journey into sound.
the fattest, funkiest tunes in town.
All right. Some days I really nail that intro, and some days I'm way too fast on it. But hey, good morning, everybody. My name's Elaine Adams, and this is the Stockhouse U Pre-Market Show. For those of you who are new, here's what we do here. We talk about futures, indices, ETFs, individual stocks. We talk about the news. We mostly talk about stuck ships in the Suez Canal. We talk about our trades, both good and bad, and of course, trading psychology. This is not financial advice. We're just a group of friends coming up here every day to talk about the market and how we feel about it. If you want to talk or add to this conversation, just raise your hand. Come hang out with us on stage. We love questions. Also, ping a friend. Also, go ahead and join the club if you haven't. We cannot give you trading advice, and we don't want to, but we can tell you why we're taking our own individual trades. I'm joined by some of my favorite people. Vanessa, Fly, Christopher, Marcus, Siobhan,
What's up?
Kit. Welcome, everybody. Normally, we like to start our days off with some quotes. So I'll get one off, and then I'll allow everybody to introduce themselves and get off a quote or just say hey, and we'll get straight into the show. I've been on a Jamie Dimon streak, and I'm not going to stop. So today's quote goes like this, and it's from a speech he gave a while ago. And he said, "My daughter asked me when she came home from school, 'What's the financial crisis?' And I said, 'It's something that happens every 5 to 7 years.'" I think that, especially for the influx of new traders, I'm sure you've heard it a lot in a lot of the rooms that I go into where people are like, these new traders just don't know what's going on, and a lot of experienced people have talked about larger pullbacks and just saying, hey, this really doesn't even, I've been waiting for a bigger dip. This is nothing compared to what it was like in 2008. This is nothing compared to what it was like in 2012. And I just want to remind everybody that this is a very normal thing. Not only that, but there's still like major profit-making opportunity. As a matter of fact, I think it's easier to make money when the market's going down than when it's going up because there's just some simpler tools made for that. With that said, I hope that, we can all create a plan that encapsulates the situation that we're in and reacts to it appropriately, as opposed to being surprised that, we might be in a bit of a consolidation market. We might be in a bit of a downtrend for a little while. That's no big deal. I think that's absolutely manageable, and there still is plenty of opportunity out there. So if you use good risk management and don't blow your fucking account, you will live to see major profits yet again. And with that said, Fly, do you have a quote for us today? And good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Twan. They call me Fly. My quote of today is, don't make permanent decisions on temporary emotions.
That's pretty self-explanatory. Vanessa, good morning. Do you have a quote for us today?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I do. My quote is, being calm about everything allows your mind to find solutions. Calmness is also a state of trust. Instead of overthinking and overreacting, you just surrender for that moment and allow yourself to receive guidance for what doesn't make sense. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Just trying to be calm and like, not acting in the moment and really thinking things through, whether that's in the stock market and life, really helps. My name's Vanessa. I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Vanessa. My name's Elaine, and I'm about to start speaking now. Christopher, good morning. Do you have a quote for us?
Yes, good morning. So I'm going with Stephen Covey today. Um, be patient with yourself. Self growth is tender, it's holy ground, and there is no greater investment.
Absolutely. Shivam, good morning. How are you feeling today, man? Do you have a quote for us?
Good morning. Yep, there is a quote, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this guy's name, but yeah, it says that if there is a stock market crisis, there is a ray of hope in the future. So yeah, let's get our seatbelts on and see where it takes us.
Absolutely. And we can talk about initial jobless claims today. You guys, it came out. I'm kind of excited about this. Liv, good morning, sir. Do you have a quote for us today?
Good morning.
Or
So,
are you just going to flex your bot's gains? You can do either or. We accept that.
oh, I will flex. I have a lot to say, but of course, I wish you all a wonderful trading day. And I hope you can make as much as I and the people that are with me can make in the mornings. That's all.
That's ridiculous. We will be judging this bot's plays on a daily basis, Liv, and you will live or die based on its efficacy.
I will stand with what I believe in.
I love that. Marcus, good morning.
Good morning. Love the tool too, by the way, Liv. Thank you for putting that out there. Um, I do have a quote for today, and this one actually just stuck to me. The four most dangerous words in investing are "This time it's different" by Sir John Templeton.
Ooh, can you give us a little bit more insight on what you feel about that quote?
I think it spoke to me because how many times have we made trades and we think we've have something that's different in terms of a technique or a skill set, and unfortunately we may revert back because of emotion back to that same reaction. So I think that's kind of cool, just kind of keep yourself aware when you're going down a path emotionally that saying this time is different. It may not be different if you have the same emotional attitude towards it.
Yeah, that really hits. And Marcus, you've definitely been coming in here and dropping gems, so I just want to say I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Kit, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My quote is really a simple one this morning, and it kind of relates to the market and life, and that's just be the change you want to see, right? And so many times we're complaining about what the market is doing, and not really understanding that our behaviors affect how we trade, affect the outcomes that we have. So if how we're trading isn't working for us, be the change that you actually want to see in your actual trading. So that way you get the different outcomes you expect. So,
Yeah, the crew really came prepared to prepared to have a wise day. Um, Kareen, good morning. And also, this is you might find this funny, but like all of us definitely really love your morning show. And like show up and talk about it like behind the scenes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
I'm
Awesome.
great.
We're we're excited for the market. However, we're also excited for another intimate morning show.
Yeah, me too. So I don't have a quote, but I have a acronym. GRIT. GRIT. Great return in time. That's my gem today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gotta have grit to be successful.
That's the whole like kind of Warren Buffett thing where nobody wants to get rich slow. I mean, shit, I'll take rich basically any way I can get it.
absolutely.
All right. Well, with that said, let's get into it. in the future. All right. So looking at the Nasdaq futures, unless somebody else wants to just get into this first, I know I kind of like always do it, but it doesn't have to be me. Shivam, do you want to talk about futures first? Would you like to talk about the Nasdaq, my friend?
No, and then you go ahead. I'll take on spot.
I got it. Okay, so looking at the Nasdaq, we've been trading inside of this range from 12,751 to 13,300. We closed yesterday at 12,800 basically, and we're opening at 12,700. This is 0.6% decrease overnight. Now, here's the thing, and this is why we're at yet another decisive moment. And I feel like literally every day I come in here and say we're at a decisive moment on the chart, and I'm not going to take it back. So we're sitting right on our demand zone. We're sitting right on our support. And on top of that, it hasn't been particularly great the day before. Now, we're also sitting directly on top of our 100-day moving average in the NASDAQ. I feel like if we break below this level, we actually have a significant amount down that we can go. And this will kind of remind us of how it felt in the beginning of March, where we had a fairly significant pullback day underneath, and everybody started talking about how far below we could go. So the level that I would look to see us hold is at least above 12,600, 670, whatever it is. And other than that, we could absolutely see like a nice little leg down, maybe a 2 or 3% kind of downward turn, and that would still be within the normal variations and normal amount of volatility that we've been seeing. So I am going to be waiting and seeing if we can hit some of these activation levels, and then I'm going to be playing the downside if that happens to be the case. Now, on the other side of this, we are seriously in a demand zone. And what does a demand zone mean? It's a place where people have shown that they are comfortable buying a stock, right? And this is a place overall collectively where the market has shown that people are comfortable buying. Now, are they going to be comfortable today? We don't know. However, the idea that if we do follow the trend that we have, and we've already followed this the last time we were in this region, which was the 17th, I think it was last Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. we held, right? We had a doji candle of a day. We held in here. It wasn't a big rise, but we definitely did hold this line. And then on Monday we had, what was a decent green day. So once again, if we can hold over this 12,700 level, I will be expecting us to kind of float around and have another one of those inside days with consolidation. I'm not really expecting a huge rebound, but you never know. And on the other side, if we break below this 12,600 level, I'll definitely be looking to the downside. Moving over to the S&P 500, it's kind of been a similar storyline here. I think on every single one of these charts right now, oh, that's not true. It's not true for the Russell. Anyways, on our S&P 500, we're once again sitting sitting on a place where we've been trading inside of this range. And the question is, are we going to hold? Now, what we've done previous to this is, let's see here, we held this range on February 24th. We violated this support on February 25th. We came back and held like kind of over it again on, let's see here, March 10th, and then we went to our all-time high at 397.8, and here we are back again. So this isn't a super strong support. We've seen this support invalidated a number of times, and so I'm not sure if I expect it to hold the way I'm kind of looking at what the NASDAQ's done, where we've had a couple of times recently, and it's been consistent of sort of holding this line. But with that said, so the levels that I'm looking at are 3,863 as a support / demand zone. And once again, we also, inside of this, are sitting directly on our 50-day moving average, right? So one thing that we're not having is the 20-day hasn't crossed the 50-day, the 9-day hasn't crossed the 20-day. We're not into bearish retracement levels yet, but we are sitting right on top of this average, and we would love to see this hold as a support and falling underneath that. There, once again, is a lot of range for us to go down. The last time we broke the support, we went all the way down to 3,726, and that's the lowest that I would at least expect it to go today without using fib retracements and giving you guys step levels. But overall, if we don't hold here, I'm definitely looking for a nice 2% pullback once again. So we'll see how it goes in a day. Now, the big story, to be honest, is the story of the Russell. And what's going on with the Russell? Well, so far she's having a really, really rough week. I've been talking about trading between this 2200 to 2300 range for quite some time now, and we've held into this in this range particularly well since the beginning of February. Now, here we sit. We closed yesterday at 2,130, and now we're sitting at 2,100. This is a 1.3% difference. It's the largest drop overnight of all of our major indices, and I think this is actually fairly significant. This is something that has just shown a lot of resilience. It's had the same growth. We've seen our small cap stocks be a place where there has been a lot of momentum recently, and the fact that we're breaking this, it's definitely a break of trend. There is really nothing to compare it to, especially inside of this. The level that I have that I'd be looking for is to see if we're going to hold above 2,000, and then under that, there's plenty of room to go. But right now, we're sitting at 2,100, and 2,000 would be the next level. So if you did see us having a particularly red day, maybe this, and you noticed that this index was one of the ones that is reacting stronger to the pullbacks that have been happening, and you're looking for a place to find downward momentum, this might be it, right? And I want to take like a brief second and ask somebody, let's see, Shivam or maybe Martin or maybe
What's
AR.
up?
Here's the question I would love for somebody to answer. When an index moves, is it because, and I'm trying to lead this the right way, is why does an index move? There we go. Why does an index move? Is it because people are buying and selling this index, or is it because the underlying stocks held in the index are going up and down? Do you get what I'm saying? Is that a clear question for you guys?
Yep. So it's mostly the sectors which are playing in that. For example, if the tech sector is going down, that means the FANG is going down. But things like banks are moving up. You will not see that much of a correction in SPY. And you had that kind of a day yesterday till 3 p.m., where banks did not go down almost till 2:33 p.m. And you saw a SPY not going below its 391 mark yesterday. So it's more based upon the sectors. If all the sectors are going down, you'll see an index moving in one particular direction. If three of the five sectors are going down, you'll see a smaller movement. And if all of them are going up, you'll see all the participants in that particular index making the SPY or whatever that particular index is moving in the right direction. It's not just buying or selling off one particular
So
index, which is going to
allow me
affect
to
it.
kind of go deeper than that, because that's exactly what I mean. What if we're just talking about pick any ETF? Let's talk about XLE, right? If XLE goes up or down, what do you think has a larger effect on that price? Is it people buying and selling XLE, the ETF, or is it people buying and selling the individual stocks inside of that ETF?
I think the individual stocks inside the ETF.
Anybody else? So, and I just think that this is kind of an important thing. I would say that this affects the ETF price. They both have an effect on each other, right? So if people are buying or selling the actual ETF, what does an ETF actually do? It holds shares of the underlying stocks that it's told to represent at the percentage that it says that it holds them in, and they will restructure to make sure that they're staying at that percentage or not, depending on
Absolutely,
the
absolutely.
ETF manager's
But what's
style.
the inverse weighted average, right? Like, what's the inverse weighted average between, let's say, for example, Palantir is part of ARKK,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, ARK is made of a lot of stuff from Palantir. When Palantir goes down, does it make ARK goes down? Maybe, maybe not. When ARK goes down, does that make Palantir go down? Nope. Very rarely that happens, right? So that inverse weighted proportion is works in a works in a very skewed way, where
Yeah,
the
that's actually very
stocks or
true.
the sectors, yeah, the stocks or the sectors participating can have an effect on the overall index, but index moving up or down cannot be significantly just because of that particular stock. It can be because of different sectors in it.
Well, and it goes to, I think, the inverse relation, but I'm trying to make this simple, Shivam, and not go super complicated. But on the other side, if an index does go up, if you buy a bunch of ARK funds, what is Kathy going to do? She will in turn go and spend that money and add stocks to the ones that she says are in her fund or new ones, whatever, right? So it on the buy side, the fund definitely will affect, and on the sell side, maybe not so much. And so I just want people to think about, and really honestly, like if you have a major sector ETF, right? If you talk about XLE, like look at the XLE chart, and then you can look at Chevron, you could look at ConocoPhillips, you can look at whatever it is, and you'll see the correlation between these charts, right? So when we go down and talk about SPY and we talk about the NASDAQ, you look a lot of the times, you'll see the major players inside of that index have a really strong correlation. And then once again, this is why we kind of do this top-down analysis, and that's why it helps me sort of find where I'm trying to be in the market. I think that I hope that we start looking like right inside of these stocks and right inside of these indices. Sorry, and then start to find some of the major players inside and like attack that. I note people who, when the Nasdaq is falling, they go straight to the Microsoft chart because they know the correlation there is really high. Right. So with that said, we can keep it moving. I just wanted to have a detour there. Let's see. What day is it? Is it a treat yourself day or is it a trash trades day?
Trash trades day.
I do have an update for you.
Go ahead with the update, Christopher.
Okay, so we're looking at oil, of course. Of course, the Suez Canal is the hugest news. So before I go into what I'm looking at on the chart, we're going to be looking at this just for a little bit longer, just because yesterday in the chart, it was more of, it wasn't really more supply and demand. It was really more fear and greed. I think people are starting to understand that this canal blockage is actually going to slow down the supply, but the demand isn't all the way there because of the lockdowns and things like that. But however, this is also affecting other side of the market as well, because the ship is blocking the path of other vessels traveling in both directions across the Suez, bringing 13% of the world's trade to a halt. About $10 billion worth of goods is expected to join the jam every day until the container is moved out of the way. And so if we're looking at the futures, if we're moving over to agriculturals and looking at, pretty much everything except for sugar, it's also down, and it is across the board, not just our market, but every market. Anyway, so I keep talking about the February kind of consolidation range down to this 57.46 range on the chart for oil on crude. I think we could test that again, and it's continue to have these negative catalysts. So I think it's going to continue to bounce off of that 57.46, and just kind of trade between there and 60 until we kind of get some clear direction. But right now we're still consolidating.
I love that. That's a solid take. I actually have nothing to add, Christopher. You have ascended. Go ahead, Patrick. Did you have something you want to add to that?
No, I was getting my phone out of my pocket.
Alrighty then. With that said, I think it is time for that segment.
All right, guys, it is time for trash trades. That means, well, let's just say you bought it yesterday and you thought maybe we were going to be in a little bullish market when Jay Powell was speaking, and it didn't turn out that way. Or, anything else this week that maybe you didn't just get to talk about earlier or yesterday in the must hate money segment. I know there was a lot of people that wanted to talk. If you had a trash trade, go ahead, raise your hand, or if anybody on stage maybe didn't have the best move, go ahead and flash your mic and we'll jump into trash trades. Anybody want to get us started? If not, I will.
Yeah, I didn't trade yesterday, so finally for once, no trash trades.
Look at you sticking to. You know what? Actually, I didn't expect that from you. So how about I made one trash trade yesterday because I kept talking about Ebon, and they actually did make a move, and I was able to get out. And then yesterday they wanted to move again pre-market, and so I was thinking that maybe people were getting away from the sentiment that Janet Yellen's done speaking about Bitcoin for the week. I'm gonna jump in. And here we are back down under, what is it? I'm sorry. Yeah, back down under 7. Fortunately, I got it yesterday around 7:30. And so I'm not too upset about it. But yeah, I'm just not liking the direction of where the trade is going right now. I don't know if I'll look to exit the position just because I did get it around the $7 range, and I do believe that the valuation could go back to 10 any day now. Just waiting for them to get more NFT news. Um, but yeah, that's where we are on my trash trade with Ebon again.
For me, I didn't trade yesterday either, but I do hate money because I haven't been joining the room that Liv has in the morning with the bot that yells the tickers. So I definitely hate money.
You gotta stay on theme, Vanessa. Today's a trash trades day. But speaking of trash trades, Liv, for my call out today, I will be shorting the stock that your bot picked yesterday, just out of spite. So HPR is going straight to the ground as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I've had people literally just find the stocks at the end of the day and then buy puts. So that's a strategy. It's not like you have to buy it, but
no, I'm going to be shorting it. I'm going to be using the inverse method. So we'll see if I come in tomorrow and talk about how trash of a trade that was. But we did the DD, like, and it was just like one of the stocks that it picked is 99% like from their their full price. This company is 100% going out of business, and they just had like an amazing day because Wall Street Bets, because Benzinga pumped them in an article.
yes, he did.
Yes.
Yes. Benzinga has been pumping lately. I've noticed
Benzinga
it.
is pumping short squeezes. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic. Anybody else want to talk about trash trades or something that they learned from making a trade that could have been executed better?
Yeah, I'll go. So I've been playing GNUS options and swinging them. And yesterday, when I was watching it and I saw my super trend turn negative and to sell, I was like, oh no, it's going to be fine. And waited and waited and waited and waited. And I must save money because I did sell it for a profit of 12%, but it was up at 40. So got to be smarter when I see my super trend go red to believe it and follow it.
No, it's okay. I've been holding on to Ford and kind of like building onto a position in there, but the thing has been up like 50, 60% on days. And it's just like, yep, it's in the negative right now. It's cool. I'm a long term trader on this one, but I feel like I should have just taken some profits and kept it moving.
Don't feel bad. I bought Ford at 4, sold it at 8 because I was like, this is the top, and then watched it climb to 12. So I also hate money with Ford.
Fully. Anybody else want to go before we move it to our next segment?
Oh, I can wait.
No, no, no. I think not. I think we need to hear this one.
No, Boeing's been running up, but my setup showed a short. I don't really trade Boeing, but I took the short Monday and it did a little reversal. So I panicked out of my trade. I waited till it pulled back and, just lost. I didn't lose a lot. I lost very little, actually. It pulled back, and as you know, it's been going down all week. And so I just wanted to share, to trust. And it's unlike me, but if I don't trade a stock often, I don't trust my setup. Really, I just don't trust, the stock to do what it's supposed to do. But I just want to share. Sometimes you just got to trust the process and believe in your methodology and hold on to it. So I got out of a trade unnecessarily. So
Thanks for that, Kazal. I feel like people like you and me who say that we day trade, like, on a consistent basis, like it's very important for us to talk about our wins and losses, so as not to set up, I don't know, people sometimes think like that day trading or this short-term swing trading is easy and the gains are amazing, but like your ability to lose is also incredible. So thanks for sharing because it's the human side of it.
Can we take 1 second? Hey, Cazell runs a room, and I'm not sure the days and times, but do you want to plug it real quick, Cazell?
Yeah, please.
oh, thanks, Vanessa. Yeah. So we run a room. Uh, trade all day, and we just are a bunch of traders, new and novice. I mean, novice and seasoned traders, just kind of having fun throughout the day and helping each other. And we are from 9:15 to 4:15. So, when you leave here at 9:30 or 10, come and join us. It's pretty fun group. We are private though, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and open to all of Clubhouse on Thursday and Friday. And so we love partnering with Stockhouse University because just cool group of people, and I think our personalities match as clubs. So thank you for the opportunity, Vanessa.
I also want to say that Cazelle's room is so friendly and calm with the music in the background.
Yeah, we got to set the mode for trading. We can't be too crazy.
I feel that. Well, I'm gonna let Chris set the mood for this refresh.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first place every morning you should stop to get your stock market news. That's right, I'm talking about the morning show presented by Stockhouse University. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. This is a conversation amongst friends that love talking about stocks and want to improve our profitability by coming here every day, talking about the market, relevant news, and how we're going to use that information to be profitable. We think education should be accessible and affordable to everyone, so we have a free Discord that has tons of resources and over 1,800 amazing members at all different skill levels that are also talking about the market, and they're trying to grow as well. We also do free classes on Sundays, and we would love it if you would join that community and contribute, because together we are so much more powerful than we are individually. Invite your friends, invite your family. Let's all create opportunities for generational wealth. Also, if you like the conversations that we have here, make sure to click the greenhouse on the top and join the community. We'd love to continue the conversations, and we would love it if you guys would contribute every time we're on stage, not just in the Stockhouse U family. Thank you.
S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, where all the old money stashed at. Bet you ain't no square on Cash App. Stock, name an asset that could match.
All right. Who wants to talk about SPY? I feel like Shivam said you were ready to go for the SPY talk. You want to lead us? Oh, he's not even here. Look at that. All right, cool. Liv, you want to talk about SPY? Wow. All right, fine. I'll talk about SPY. It's cool.
Yeah.
Go for it, Liv.
I'm sorry about that. So SPY is, well, it's letting me down. So this morning, as I was looking over it earlier in pre-market, it was 388. Was hoping that we would have a nice gap up to maybe push through a momentum during the day, but we did not get that. So far right now, SPY is currently at 386.11, and it's looking like it might hit 385. What I'm looking for right now is just to stay above 383. I'm shooting that low because I do expect people to be panicking and selling in the morning. We have a very strong support, at least at 371 so far. So we do have room to completely fall down. I would love for a change in the trend. If I had to see anything, it would probably be consolidation at this level from 383 through 390. It's a big range, but because of how far up we are, it's just possible that this is going to be how it will be for the next couple of days until things just stop being so chaotic. If we do move to an upside, I would only consider it a move to the upside if it can survive past 390 for more than 2 days. And that's it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And like looking at this, we're right above our 50-day moving average, which is sitting at 386.14. The next level I definitely expect us to hit is 383, and then 376. So sorry, I'm just repeating it. We all have the same numbers, Liv. You're right. I'm right there with you. And that break below 388 already, which was where our 20-day moving average is, definitely says a lot. Now, we're not seeing any averages cross, so once again, I wouldn't call this a bearish retracement, but the level of volatility and consolidation, I know it's not pleasant for a lot of people. Anybody else looking at SPY have a different take? Does somebody see some bullishness here? I mean, I guess the bullishness is that the moving averages haven't really crossed over.
So it's not really a take on spy. It's spy related. But it's just more of a comment. I don't. I was late to joining the group, so I do apologize if someone already said something about this. But the job numbers in GDP today, in my opinion, like they were good.
They were
Um,
good.
they were good. And they to me showed to me they actually did show bullishness. So when you're saying do you see bullishness in the spy, like I don't necessarily see it on the chart right now, but I see it with some of the underlying variables like jobs and GDP. While they weren't like crazy beats at all, to me it shows with more and more states reopening. Remember these numbers are lagging indicators. They're not real time. Um, so with more states reopening and more people going, hopefully back to work. I'm in Florida. I know they've talked about, schools are reopened. I know I've heard in other states with New York, California, Texas, think about the big states. Like, I would imagine the bullishness is lagging with the interpretation or the digestion of the numbers. Because to me, if this is what we were doing when we didn't have vaccine numbers and states were beginning to reopen, to me, these numbers should only, you know, keep remaining bullish, assuming there's not another variant or something out there where you know I think that's the bullishness I see. Sorry for dragging it out.
No, no, it's okay. It's we put it on our morning briefing because I think these economic indicators are really important. And thank you for bringing it up, Patrick. Speaking of the jobless claims, so and I don't know, we don't even have time to really talk about it because I'm with you on the bullishness of not having our jobless claims or initial jobless claims hit. Uh, okay, so sorry, the jobless claims 4 week average was, oh my God, what happened to my 736,000, and the prediction was 736,000. Our previous it was 749,000 from last month, so it's not this huge down spike. And on top of that, Janet Yellen, and basically everything she says, has been talking about the underlying economy. You know, the people who really like the 10 million people who are still out of jobs, which really hasn't been being addressed, or the people who were never able to get stimulus. Like listening to these. Senate committee hearings has actually sort of given me a little bit more of a broader view on how everybody's looking at the market and kind of past these initial numbers, to have more like thoughts on just the overall state of people who, I mean, I said it yesterday, I would never have wanted to be an essential worker during this. If you worked at Ralph's, it was it's been a hard year, and where you got no break, you really got no assistance. I mean, at least you did have a job, but it would have been really rough. So I'm not sure how bullish I am overall, especially because it wasn't a really stark difference. But hey, it is nice to see GDP up 4.3%. That's beautiful. And that was over the estimate. So sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So one thing I think is concerning for me when it comes to jobless, to the job claims, is that when people stop looking for jobs, meaning that, for whatever reason they just kind of gave up, they're not actually counted, even though they don't have a job. And so I think those numbers are sometimes they're misleading. They're not truly capturing all the unemployed. I just say that just to add to it because not from a trading standpoint, but just um, the recovery may be um, less aggressive than it's really depicting. I think there's a lot of people out here still suffering.
Right. Like the long term unemployment. I think I may have mentioned this a little bit earlier. Like the long term unemployment is at record levels, um,
Yep.
seen since the last major crash. So yeah, those people who are 6 months unemployed or more are definitely at record levels now, more than ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Real quick, so we do have to keep moving, you guys, but we can do another room to talk about this more in depth. And I will say that the initial jobless claims number was, so the forecast was 695,000 for this month. We came in at 684,000. I think this is a little bit more of a straight on indicator because, it's the initial claim. And last month, or the last time we had this check in, it was 781,000. But previous to that, we were at 736. So it really is fluctuating kind of a lot. And I agree with all of you. I don't think anybody had a bad take there. And it is worth talking about. But we have to keep on moving. So with that said, I want to do a quick rundown of all the sectors. I feel like that's so important, but it's like the thing we have the least time for in a lot of ways. Let's talk about three. So I'd love to. Chris kind of already talked about energy and looking at crude oil, and I think that storyline is going to kind of going to keep on moving itself. It closed yesterday at 49.03, sitting at 48.31, and I definitely would wait to see if we're going to have like some more downward movement related to just the lack of travel and supplies moving through the Suez Canal. $9.6 billion a day is not a small number, and especially when we look at the oil that goes through there, just that alone is a humongous deal. This will have an impact on spot price. And so we can see maybe a move from contango into backwardization again, if that's what continues to have this effect. Moving up, I want to talk about XLI, our industrial sector ETF. So we closed yesterday at 95.13, and we sit here at 94.84, so down once again. And this is the storyline that I've kind of been saying, but industrials have been on fire. So my question continues to be, is this going to be part of our cyclical reopening trade? Are we going to see more energy move into this as we still have vaccine doses going out at a higher rate? Or is this going to be something that, really popped off of the idea of reopening, but struggles after, sort of failing to continue the momentum on this breakout of trading in a range that has been trading in since last November, right? And failed breakouts has been a symptom or just a sign of the market that we're in. We've seen these happen a few times. So we could revert to the mean and come right back to our previous resistance that turned into a support all the way down at 90.52. Regardless, there is a ton of value in this sector and companies that have been beat down and still haven't really realized that full continuation. And then there's a lot of places like airlines, which have had, fairly good recoveries, and we're looking to see them move up to the next leg based on how they control their debt and move into, whatever, just the reopening. And last but not least, I'll talk about tech. So XOK is the S&P ETF for tech, and this is another thing that has just been trading in a sideways motion, basically since February of this year. And so we closed yesterday at 129.46. We're sitting at 128.76, and like tech and consumer discretionary have just had, they have extreme growth. That is where a lot of the growth trades are. However, at the same time, this is where the pullback has been felt so much more than any other place. And so as we're having, a day where the NASDAQ is down, I mean, it's only new that we're starting seeing the Russell be the lagging index out of all of these and taking the most pullback. So I've still been looking in tech and in consumer discretionary. If we are going to have a red day, this is kind of where I'm looking to play my puts. And we are kind of starting the day down. Now, if we, so the level that we're sitting at is 128.63, and underneath that, if we break this 128 region, I'm actually looking to see the entire index go down to 124, would be where I'm at. And if we hold over 130, I'll be looking towards the upside. But 128 also would be our 100-day moving average, and 124 is sort of halfway between that and their 200-day moving average. With that said, I definitely want to keep it moving because there's a decent amount of news also out today. Chris, you want to start us off with the news?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. There's so much to talk about. It just keeps hitting my alerts. So let's talk about Ford. By mid 2026, 100% of its vehicles will be either hybrid, all electric, or plug in. So they're working on that. Chipotle also invests in leading autonomous delivery. And so EV is on the way right now. I mean, it's still in the dip, but I mean, are we not taking long term positions in EV? I think everybody is. Also, I just saw something that was actually pretty crazy. I just wanted to make sure I read it right. Oh, yeah. Zoom just became official partner of Formula One. That's kind of cool. I'm a longtime Formula One fan. But yeah, that's other than that, Suez is it's the biggest news in the market, in my opinion, outside of the missiles being launched and everything else that's just bringing the market down.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else that I kind of saw is that after Amazon signed that deal with the NFL, they're also going to be releasing a lot of like NFL products. So I wonder, as we kind of see sports moving into this NFT section, if we're going to see an Amazon NFL NFT combination. Oh my God, an NFL NFT. Anyways, we do know that it is coming in the whatever in the NFT world, and I'm wondering if Amazon is going to be another one of the players that sort of benefits off of that. Also, moving along, the Astrazeneca vaccine, as they're releasing more trial results, found out that the efficacy level of it was less than initially thought. So down to 76 from the earlier 79% claim. I don't know. I'm not real big on the Astrazeneca vaccine currently right now, just because of the heart problems that everybody in Europe reported. And I still feel like it's crazy that there's just no talk of that in America, where obesity is one of our number one killers. So I sort of expect that storyline to happen at some point. What else? Oh, sorry. So India saw an uptick in infection reports, and said that they'll be slowing the export of vaccinations. And just in the Bloomberg article I'm reading, they're saying that this might have an effect on the global supply chain for COVID vaccines, and I think that that's important to note. We've kind of been talking about this story over and over and over again, or I've been talking about it. I'm extremely paranoid about new variations of the virus, and hearing that like this newest one accounts for 20% of the infections in the US. And also, if you start talking about the specific mutations, there are specific mutations that are making this virus like I don't want to say immune, but it's making the current vaccines that we have non-effective. And so it's like it feels like there's this fight between science and this virus that, is continuing to go around. We're seeing like places like Brazil had 90,000 new cases reported yesterday, right? So there are some places where it's starting to turn into hotspots again. Also, well, whatever. That's not a big story. Did you guys see the story about carcinogens found in the hand sanitizer that people have been using to protect themselves or like wash their hands all day from COVID? And it's like, oh, you didn't get COVID, but you got cancer, skin cancer, because you've been using alcohol. Anyways,
Wow, I didn't see that. That's kind of crazy.
if I find out who's making the hand sanitizer that has carcinogens in it, that's tradable information. But the alcohol thing is just a wild story.
Just want to point out to Facebook, Google, Twitter CEOs. So Zuckerberg, Dorsey, and Sundar are all going to be talking to Congress today. Just keep an eye out for that. If they, depending on how they react, talking about the misinformation, if they start throwing around things like regulation and stuff, I could see that potentially pushing us lower today. That's all.
No, I think that's really valid. I'm actually going to live stream that during the day. Thanks, Patrick. Anybody else have any news that you're looking at? You guys want to get into a little watch list action?
Don't be surprised if that carcinogen news begins to start catching or start um, gaining momentum. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I've always found that I'm a little early on like healthcare news, or like the things that I think are important, like kind of gets ignored by the market a lot. Yeah, there is a lot of news, but I think we have to keep it moving. So with that said, you guys, I just want to make songs about stocks, but I don't have the time. Anyways, so what's on everybody's watch list? I'm dead serious that something I'm looking at today is shorting the stock that LiveSpot put out, HPR. It ran from like 50 cents up to $12 and then got halted. It got halted at 12. I think that we're seeing the price settle, but this company was going out of business, so I might be looking to take a short position and write it all the way back down. And then also just on the side, I'm staying back for the most part. I'm watching the market. I'm definitely going to be waiting deep into the day if I do trade. And looking at some of the reaction, I think I'll be playing overall indices as opposed to trying to find individual stocks. And so for me, like shorting the NASDAQ, shorting SPY, that's probably the direction I'm intending on going in. Although looking at VIX and seeing the level that we're at might also be a good indicator. So it's all shorts and playing overall market sentiment for me today. Fly, what are you looking at, sir? You need to let it wait. You're going to post it in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it wait and post it in Discord about 30, 45 minutes.
We'd love to hear it. Good morning, Vanessa. Anything you're looking at for the day?
Good morning, everyone. I'm actually sitting this whole week out. I know I said WWR and I didn't trade it yesterday. But in response to what Fly said, if anybody's new to the room, the link to our Discord is in the Instagram bio, Stockhouse University. You can go to Elaine's profile and go straight there. That's it. My name's Vanessa. I'm done speaking.
Thanks for that, Vanessa. Yeah, that I won't keep going. There's so much news. Christopher, what are you looking at for today, sir?
I'm out. I'm not trading this week.
Yeesh. Marcus, what are you looking at, man?
I'm still standing on CIDM. Again, that was an NFT play there. Company, there's a cinema company announcing that they're going to get to NFT space. So I'm still in that one and just going to continue to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like seeing that a lot of the meme stocks took a fairly big L. I don't know. I hear people talking about TCAT a lot. How's DLP? Is that another one? Anyways, I guess I don't want to.
Dolphin, yeah, it went
Dolphin.
to the floor too.
Yeah, I mean, hey, those things were highly volatile, but I'm glad you guys kind of caught those plays and the NFT hype. I'm sure it'll pop again. Siobhan, what are you looking at for the day?
Good morning, Elaine. Actually, I had got a call from a couple of people in my family who were a bit worried about the market. Anyways, I'll take 1 minute. Uh, Remember when we were at 395 SPY and I was the one who was feeling bearish and saying that this can go till 378, 380 because it's just not looking like a SPY that will cross 400 mark. And if it goes 405, I'll become bullish. Look where we are. We are halfway through where we talked last time, 385, right? And 378 is where I start to feel bullish again.
I'm sorry, you were totally right, Shabab. You definitely said
Yep.
this. You were the bear in the room.
So 378, like this is the zone where I start to feel bullish again, right? If it touches 381, my man, I get bullish. So I am looking at SPY. I'll buy a couple of puts on it, right? I'll look at it where it goes because it's gonna go till 378, 380 range. But once this end of the quarter rebalancing is done and everything is fine, I'm gonna jump back. And I'm going to buy towards the 400 of SPY calls for maybe April 4th, April 7th, April 10th. But I'm going to play it well. I know exactly now which trend it is going towards. It will take a lot of courage for this market to break 378.
Interesting. I love it. And I also do agree with those kind of levels that you're looking at. Although if we do indeed break from 378, it'll be a day.
Oh, that'd be bad. That'd be bad.
I'm going to write it all the way down, and I will meet you at the bottom, Shivam, and we can high five, and you can write it all the way back up. Good morning, Kit. Are you anything you're looking at today?
I'm looking at a computer screen for work. I am not messing with this market right now. I swear, it's reminding me of like the Bloody Sunday from Game of Thrones. It's like, pick a side, damn it, pick a side.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people feeling that bloodiness. And speaking of crypto, I felt like I heard a lot of the crypto people sort of looking to the downside and talking about a retracement as well for Bitcoin. Anybody have a take on that in 20 seconds or less? I love it. It's cool. We don't ever have to talk about crypto again. I'm so sorry. Liv, anything you're looking at for the day?
SPY, Apple, and Boeing. I'm looking for entries on SPY mostly. That's it.
You're playing the upside or the downside today, sir?
Okay, so entry point downside is going to be 384 down to 383. If we do break out of this spiral, I would say I'd do an upside just to see for a little pump, a risky trade at 387 up to 388.
I love that. So taking it real small and looking for fairly assured direction pieces. Totally. I want to hear about your Apple call out. What are you looking at for Apple? I know we don't have time, but interesting.
Well, Apple under 116 to me is a buy. And right now we're not exactly there yet, I believe. If I double check. Yeah, we're not exactly there yet. So if it dips past 117, I'm going to be starting to look for a entry for a long call. And that's really it. I don't like to buy puts on Apple. I don't think it's necessary. You never know.
No, you do know. I'm kind of with you. There's a lot of tech plays that it's like AMD under 75. If we actually do take that pullback, I don't know. I might
There are
totally
so many.
go
Look at
for it.
SE. Look at SE.
Can we
It's
talk about
188,
QuantumScape?
189.
And they just did an offering. The stock is going to sink even more. It's a buy the dip sort of move for sure. But I just hope we all sit there and wait for the dip to stop dipping. But I'm with you. Sorry. And what was the stock you were looking? Oh, SE. Yeah, SE, Melly. We could talk about all of them. Jumia needs a chance to rest, but it's like it's all just completely at a level that I don't think is reasonable. Um, sorry, Rev. Did you have something you wanted to say? What's on your watch list for today, sir?
Um, Not much. I've been looking for these levels for the past few weeks, the third, fourth week of March, and I'm just looking for that trend to turn bullish. Short-term bullish from here going into April. So we reached those 386 levels that I like, but yeah, still looking at opportunities here.
No, that's awesome. Ikena, is that how I say your name?
Yep, that's correct. Yes.
Good morning. Welcome
Morning,
to the
morning.
stage. Is there
Thank
anything
you.
you're looking at on your watch list for today?
I'm keeping an eye on oil. I want to see how it behaves today. It doesn't necessarily follow the market. Sometimes when the market is bearish, a lot of people go into oil. But given the restrictions in Europe, things have been a little iffy with that. Oil was up yesterday, so oil rebounded from its downturn yesterday. So we'll see how it runs today. I'm going to do covered calls though, particularly on like USO and MRO. So 100 shares of the underlying stock, and then I'm going to sell calls against it just in case it goes down from my current position. So that's a win-win situation. Win-win situation for covered calls. So if the stock goes down, um, if the stock goes down from your position, then you make money from the out of the money covered call because it expires worthless for the person you sold it to, and you take that premium. If it goes up in between the price of your covered call and the stock, then you end up benefiting from both the covered call and the stock. If it goes above the, sorry, if it goes above the covered call, right, then you end up having to sell the shares at the strike price of the covered call. So you still make a profit because that covered call is the strike price of the covered call is above your position for the 100 shares of the underlying stock. So
We love it. And something that I've heard a lot of people say is that this is a stock picker's market right now. And in a stock picker's market, the safe place to be, oh my God, Ikena, you're way too popular for us.
no, I don't know what's going on. Somebody's ringing on my phone. Let me block.
In a stock picker's market, it is a safe place to be on the seller side of the calls. So I love that strategy, and I think that's great risk management. And yeah, AR, last but not least, anything you're looking at for the day?
Yeah, real quick, I'm looking at Google, and I'm looking for Google to fade around that 250 mark, if it can revisit that. But I like the target around 2007, so 2007 by week's end.
All right. Well, with that said, thank you so much, everybody, and let's do a little affirmation. Gratitude. I'm grateful for all of you. This community is valuable, and I appreciate what you bring to the table on a daily basis, whether you're in the audience or on stage. This matters. This is an opportunity, and it will not go unnoticed. The opportunity for growth, the opportunity to learn and become better, the opportunity to share and be validated by your experience from people that want to hear about it. I want to hear about these good trades and the bad trades, but I hope that we can get to more good trades. In these trades, I will wait for the right time. I will trade with a plan. I will trade with no fear of missing out because the market is doing exactly what we thought it would. I don't want to make it long, so I just want to say I'm grateful for the opportunity to be in the market. I'm going to protect my principal, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to create generational wealth, not for myself, but for the people around me that I love and care about. Stay safe out there, use great risk management, sell some covered calls, sell some spreads, whatever it takes to protect your principal, and have an awesome green day. This is Stockhouse U, and we are out of here.
Y'all stay blessed.
All right, y'all. Be safe. Buy some puts. Enjoy your day.
Bye.
Have a good day.